I thought we'd agreed that you were to stay in your part of the house and I in mine. This room is my part of the house. Please don't come down here again.
I won't.
I'll get Cal to take you upstairs.
Before you do, I want to tell you that after all, we've invested our money in Hubbard, Sons, and Marshall, cotton manufacturers.
What are you talking about? You haven't seen Ben. When did you change your mind?
I didn't change my mind. I didn't invest the money. It was invested for me.
What?
I had $88,000 worth of Union Pacific bonds in that safe deposit box. They're not there now. Go and look. Go and look, Regina. Those bonds are as negotiable as money.
What kind of a joke are you playing now? Is this for my benefit?
I don't look at that box very often, but 3 days ago, on Wednesday it was, because I had made a decision.
I want to know what you're talking about.
Don't interrupt me again. Because I had made a decision, I sent for the box. The bonds were gone. $88,000 gone.
Do you think I'm crazy enough to believe what you're saying?
Believe anything you like.
Where did they go to?
They're in Chicago. With Mr. Marshall, I should guess.
What did they do, walk to Chicago? Have you really gone crazy?
Leo took the bonds.
I don't believe you.
I wasn't there, but I can guess what happened. This fine gentleman to whom you were willing to marry your daughter took the keys and opened the box. You remember the day of the fight your brother Oscar went to Chicago? Well, he went with my bonds his son Leo had stolen for him. And for Brother Ben, of course, too.
When did you find out that the bonds were gone?
Wednesday night.
I thought that's what you said. Why have you waited 3 days to do anything? This'll make a fine story.
Couldn't it?
A fine story to hold over their heads. How could they be such fools?
I'm not going to hold it over their heads.
What?
I'm going to let them keep the bonds as a loan from you. An $88,000 loan. They should be grateful to you. They will be, I think.
I see. You're punishing me. Well, I won't let you punish me. If you won't do anything, I will now.
You won't do anything, because you can't. It won't do any good to make trouble, because I shall simply say that I lent them the bonds.
You would do that?
Yes. For once in your life, I'm tying your hands. There's nothing for you to do.
I see. You're going to lend them the bonds and let them keep all the profit they make on them, and there is nothing I can do about it. Is that right?
Yes.
Why did you say that I was making this gift?
I was coming to that. I'm going to make a new will, Regina, leaving you $88,000 in Union Pacific bonds. The rest will go to our daughter, Alexandra. It's true that your brothers have borrowed your share for a little while. After my death, I advise you to talk to Ben and Oscar. They won't admit anything, and Ben, I think, will be smart enough to see that he's safe. Because I knew about the theft and said nothing. Nor will I say anything as long as I live. Is that clear to you?
You will not say anything as long as you live.
That's right. And by that time, they'll probably have replaced your bonds, and then they'll belong to you, and nobody will ever know what happened. They'll be around any minute to see what I'm going to do. I took good care to see that word reached Leo. They'll be mighty relieved to know I'm going to do nothing. And Ben will think it all a capital joke on you. And that will be the end of that. There's nothing you can do to them, nothing you can do to me.
You hate me very much.
No.
Oh, I think you do. Well, we haven't been very good together. Anyway, I don't hate you either. I've only contempt for you. I've always had.
From the very first?
I think so.
I was in love with you. But why did you marry me?
I was lonely when I was young.
You were lonely.
Not the way people usually mean. Lonely for all the things I wasn't going to get. Everything in this house was so busy, and there was so little place for what I wanted. I wanted the world. Then Papa died and left the money to Ben and Oscar.
And you married me?
Yes. I thought, but I was wrong. You were a small-town clerk then. You haven't changed.
And that wasn't what you wanted?
No, it wasn't what I wanted. It took me a little while to find out that I'd made a mistake. As for you, I don't know. It was almost as if I couldn't stand the kind of man you were. I used to lie that night, praying you wouldn't come near me.
Really? As bad as that?
Remember when I went to Dr. Sloan and I told you he said there was something the matter with me and they shouldn't touch me anymore?
I remember.
And you believed it. I couldn't understand that. I couldn't understand that anybody could be such a soft fool. That was when I began to despise you.
Why didn't you leave me?
I told you I'd married you for something. Turned out it was only for this. This wasn't what I wanted, but it was something. I never thought much about it. But if I had, I'd have known that you would die before I would. But I couldn't have known that you'd get heart trouble so early and so bad. I'm lucky, Horace. I've always been lucky. I'll be lucky again.
The whole town loved and respected him.
Did you love Papa, Uncle Oscar?
Certainly I... Why, what a strange thing to ask.
Did you love him, Uncle Ben?
Well, he had...
And you, Mama. Did you love him, too?
I know what you feel, Alexandra, but please, dear, try to control yourself.
I'm trying, Mama. I'm trying very hard.
Grief makes some people laugh and some people cry. It's better to cry, Alexandra.
What was Papa doing on the staircase?
Please go and lie down, dear. We all need time to get over shocks like this. Please go, Alexandra.
No, Mama, I'll wait. I've got to talk to you.
Later, dear. Go and rest now.
I'll wait, Mama. I've plenty of time. All my life.
Well, as I was saying, tomorrow morning I'm going up to see Judge Sims. I shall tell him about Leo.
And what proof? What proof of all
None.
this?
I won't need any. The bonds are missing in there with Marshall. That'll be enough. If it isn't, I'll add what's necessary.
We'll deny...
Deny your heads off. You couldn't find a jury that wouldn't weep for a woman whose own brother steal from her. And you couldn't find 12 men in this state you haven't cheated and who hate you for it.
How can you talk that way when upstairs not 5
There
minutes
are
ago...
people who can never go back, who must finish what they start. I'm one of those people, Oscar. Where was I? Well, they'll convict you. I don't care much if they don't, because by that time you'll be ruined anyway. The deal will be off in an hour, and you know it. You will do no more bargaining in this house. I'll take my 75% and we'll forget the story forever. That's one way of doing it, and the way I prefer. You all know me well enough to know that I don't mind taking the other way.
Are you going to let her do this?
You have a suggestion?
No, he hasn't. All right. Well, Leo, I have forgotten that you ever saw the bonds. And as long as you boys both behave yourselves, I've forgotten that we ever talked about them. You can draw up the necessary papers by tomorrow.
Calm, Leo.
You're a good loser, Ben. I like that.
Well, I say to myself, what's the good? But I'm not discouraged. The century's turning. The world is open for people like you and me, ready for us, waiting for us. We'll get along.
I think so.
Then, too, I say to myself, things may change. I agree with Alexandra. What is a man in a wheelchair doing on a staircase? I ask myself that.
And what do you answer?
I have no answer. But maybe someday I will. Maybe never, but maybe someday. When I do, I'll let you know.
When you do, write me. I'll be in Chicago. Ah, Ben. If Papa'd only left me his money.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, yes, certainly. You'll be sort of working for me now.
Alexandra, you're turning out to be a right interesting girl. Well, good night, all.
What do you want to talk to me about, Alexandra?
I've changed my mind. I don't want to talk. There's nothing to talk about now.
You're acting very strange, not like yourself. You've had a bad shock today, I know that. And you love Papa. But you must have expected this to come someday. You knew how sick he was.
I knew. We all knew.
It'll be good for you to get away from all this. Good for me, too. Time heals most wounds, Alexandra. You're young. You shall have all the things I wanted. I'll make the world for you the way I wanted it to be for me. We'll go in a few weeks. A few weeks. That means 2 or 3 Saturdays. 2 or 3 Sundays. I wonder what's the best place to stay.
Mama, I'm not coming with you. I'm not going to Chicago.
You're very upset, Alexandra.
I mean what I say, with all my heart.
We'll talk about it tomorrow. The morning will make a difference.
It won't make any difference, and there isn't anything to talk about. I'm going away from you because I want to. Because I know Papa would want me to.
You know your Papa would want you to go away from me?
Yes.
And if I say no?
Say it, Mama. Say it, and see what happens.
And if I make you stay?
That would be foolish. It wouldn't work in the end.
You're very serious about it, aren't you? Well, you'll change your mind in a few days.
You only change your mind when you want to. And I won't want to.
Alexandra, I've come to the end of my rope. Somewhere there's got to be what I want to. Life goes too fast. Do what you want. Think what you want. Go where you want. I'd like to keep you with me, but I won't make you stay. Too many people used to make me do too many things. No, I won't make you stay.
You couldn't, Mama, because I want to leave here, as I never wanted anything in my life before. Because now I understand what Papa was trying to tell me. Addie said there were people who ate the earth, and other people who stood around and watched him do it. And just now Uncle Ben said the same thing. Really, he said the same thing. Well, tell him for me, Mama. I'm not going to stand around and watch you do it. Tell him I'll be fighting just as hard as he'll be fighting. Someplace where people don't just stand around and watch.
Well, you have spirit after all. I used to think you were all sugar water. Well, we don't have to be bad friends, Alexandra. I don't want us to be bad friends. Would you like to come and talk to me, Alexandra? Would you like to sleep in my room tonight?
Are you afraid, Mama?